Incoming transmission.
Picture this. A recording studio somewhere far, far away.
Welcome, Watchers of Illusion, to my Castle of Confusion on the 23rd of April 2018. Sorry. Got a horrible cough and cold, so I do apologise if I start spluttering through this. Looking at NewZealand Story on the ZX Spectrum 128K. Why 128K? Because it's got damn good music, that's why. That's probably the only reason. I love this version. I remember being really chuffed to bits when I was younger and found this in my local Boots store. Yes, Boots used to sell video games back in the day. And at the time, you didn't really understand that arcade games didn't always get converted to your home computer. And I loved NewZealand Story on the arcade. So imagine my delight when we walked into our local Boots store and found this sitting on the shelf, a big box version, and snapped it up. I think it was $9.99 or something like that, which back then was quite a lot of money. You know, like a tenner is nothing these days, is it? This would have been the equivalent of buying something at, I don't know, about $24.99, 30 quid, something like that, on today's money. And I was absolutely chuffed and got it home and put it in the Spectrum, waited 45 minutes for it to load. No, not really, but probably about 10 minutes for it to load, something like that. Can you imagine my joy when I saw the lovely yellow screen that came up, but the graphics were absolutely arcade perfect? I mean, they are. I mean, I think this is actually better than the Amstrad version that I reviewed not so long ago. The only thing is that the scrolling isn't quite as smooth, but you know what? The Spectrum did a bloody awesome job on this game, and I'm really pleased to be reviewing this one today and bringing it to you, the folks at home, on another Spectrum review. It's interesting by my Spectrum reviews, the Spectrum games that I review seem to be somewhat more popular than others. So I'm guessing there's a lot of spec heads out there that enjoy going back to the Spectrum era. So these videos are just for you. And you know what? Everybody likes a bit of everything. So I hope there's some. Hope my videos bring something to each and every one of you that's subscribed to my channel. Thank you for that, by the way. Can't thank you guys enough, because without you guys I wouldn't be here. And it started off as a little hobby channel, really. So have you guys along to share my memories is really nice. So thanks very much, everybody. Back to the review, though. The music's spot on. Love it. Just listen to this for a second. That's the NewZealand Story soundtrack. It is actually the proper arcade version as well, which is really cool. And I've just picked up a laser gun, so it's got all the weapons and stuff as well that you can pick up. You can see that it's very lacking in colour, but you know what? We can forgive that. The Spectrum didn't do colour incredibly well, we know this. But to bring a game that's practically arcade perfect, you can't really complain. The animations are really nice. Like I say, the only thing is the sort of the jerkiness of the scrolling isn't smooth. But you know, that's just such a minor niggle. I'm not even going to bother putting points down on this one for that. I love the display, the heads-up display there, really nice as well. Lives in the bottom left, high score, and your own score, which when you first start playing is the high score pretty much. So you can try and beat your game score yourself, and try and hit a higher score than your last game. It's very cool. All of the bad guys in the game are absolutely spot on as well, from these little shell crab guys to the balloon guys, and all the different balloons are also in the game as well. This is just the standard one, which can be popped very easily. There are other balloons, which there's another one. That one can take several hits before it pops, and you can actually hang off that one. Whereas the one I'm on now, you can only stand on, but the other one you can actually dangle from with your feet below it. Now, this is the one you really want to get hold of, especially for the boss, which we're going to go and have a look at. You want to dangle on this one as best you can, because it's indestructible. So if you're underneath it and things are coming down on top of you, you won't get killed. So really nice feature there. I'm going to take you to the end of level boss, which is the whale. Now, the only difference really with this in the arcade is that the end of level boss doesn't swallow you. So basically you've just got to attack him with your arrows, and he will eventually just sort of break into pieces, and you're on to the next level, which we're going to do now. But that, there's such a minor niggle on that. Again, there's only so much the Spectrum could do. The intro wasn't there either. There we go, it doesn't shatter into pieces on this one. But, he wasn't the intro to the game isn't there either, so you've got to take into account the Spectrum had limited memory. I think I've just picked up the magic wand, if I remember rightly. That's the magic wand there, bouncing around the screen. Now, interestingly, some enemies don't kill you when you touch them, others will, and that's again to do the arcade. I think the Spectrum did a damn good version, considering it only had 128k, and I don't know how much of that was actually used for the sound effects and the music. But I love the fact that the kiwi, Tiki, I believe his name was, actually looks like he should do. Nice and fleshed out. I think the C64 version, he looked a little bit thin. Looked more like a chicken. It actually looks like he should do. Really, really like this version. It's probably one of my favourite versions of the home versions. I think the Amiga did a fairly good job of it as well. But I will get around to reviewing all the versions eventually. I just like to space them out a bit to give you guys time to adjust before I hit you with the same. That was stupid. Never mind. Those guys are spiky. They hurt. Yeah, I don't like doing reviews. Like if I did New Zealand Story on the Specky, I wouldn't like to do that on the Amiga tomorrow. To give you an example, I'd like to leave it a few weeks before we do that. But this game is absolutely fantastic. Little spaceships here that you can. Oh dear. You can ride around in. So everything that the arcade has is intact. They've probably had to adjust some of it to be able to fit into the Spectrum's memory banks. For that, you can't really fault it, so that's really nice. I actually think this is one of the better home conversions, especially for the 8-bits. I think this is really nice. And if you enjoyed New Zealand Story on the arcade, I think you'd really enjoy the Spectrum version. It really does do it justice. And if you enjoy the fact that it's got the music in-game as well, is absolutely brilliant. You guys will enjoy this game, I guarantee it. If you're a New Zealand Story fan, you'll love it. If you're not a New Zealand Story fan, if you've never played it, pick up a copy. Very easy to find, cheap as chips. Pick it up, give it a go. You won't regret it. Gameplay's great. Very nice learning curve. Anyway, guys, that's it for me today. I'll be back very, very soon, hopefully feeling a bit better. I'll catch you again soon. Keep it retro. Bye for now.